Well, then you schedule that. And obviously there's a bit of responsibility that's going to go along with that, because if you have any sense, it's not an accident that the axiomatic Western individual is someone who was unfairly nailed to a cross and tortured. It's like, yes, right, exactly. So what do you do about that? Well, I thought about that for a long time too. It's like, well, you don't get together in a damn mob, because all that does is allow you to be as horrible as you could possibly imagine and suffer from none of the consequences. That's a bad idea. So how about we don't do that? Well, there's a deep idea in the West too. It's like, pick up your damn suffering and bear it and try to be a good person so you don't make it worse. Well, that's a truth, you know. I read a lot about the terrible things that people have done to each other. You just cannot even imagine it. It's so awful. So you don't want to be someone like that. Now, do you have a reason to be? Yes, you have lots of reasons to be. God, there's reasons to be resentful about your existence. Everyone you know is going to die, you know, you too. And there's going to be a fair bit of pain along the way, and lots of it's going to be unfair. It's like, yeah, no wonder you're resentful. It's like, act it out and see what happens.
Life will try its best to bring you down, and you are sure to experience your own fair share of suffering. A natural reaction to that is to harbor resentment towards your situation. But instead of simply being angry at what is happening to you, own that suffering and accept it. Stop casting blame and understand that pain is a natural part of life. Do your best to tell the truth. When you operate only in truth, the final result will be good and will help you avoid chaos. Arrogance, deceit, and resentment are character traits that do nothing but harm you. The world is not out to get you personally, and using tactics to push that responsibility away only delay the inevitable. You can't fix everyone's oppression by listing out all of the things that you have been offended by and solving them one by one. It is impossible to accomplish, and there is no one, including yourself, that can make it happen. Who gets to decide what offenses have even been perpetrated? Even in the free market system, using oppression as a bartering tool never works. At the end of the day, taking charge of your own life and the bad things that can happen with it is your own responsibility. Don't let the hate or the speech of others hold you back from achieving your own goals and dreams. Keep your chin up, have a positive attitude, and don't allow anyone, even yourself, to ruin your day.
One of the things I've been suggesting to my audiences, it's one of the rules in my book, is that you should tell the truth, or at least you shouldn't lie. It's like you can't tell the truth because what the hell do you know? But you cannot lie. You know, like each of us knows when we're about to utter something that isn't true. Now sometimes maybe you're confused about it because you're ignorant and you're biased, and so you say something and it might be true and it might not be, but you're not clear about it. But sometimes it's pretty damn clear that you say something or you do something that you know perfectly well not to be true, and you do it anyways. And the proposition that Genesis puts forward is, if you act in truth, then the order you produce is good, regardless of how it appears. It's an axiomatic statement of it's an axiomatic ethical proposition that the job of whatever extracts order from chaos is properly done if it's done in truth.
I've noticed in my clinical practice that there are 3 characterological elements that really do people in. And weirdly enough, they're not really listed in the psychiatric list of diagnosis. And they're often also not discussed as causal elements in the genesis of mental illness and suffering, even though in my experience, they're actually the primary causes. Arrogance, which is I already know enough. Deceit, which is I can twist the fabric of reality in my favor for my individual wants, and I can get away with it, which goes along with pride and arrogance. And then resentment, which is the world is tragic, which is of course true. The world is unjust and tragic, which is more debatable. And the injustice and tragedy of the world is aimed at me specifically and unfairly. Well, that's just not true at all. Well, so let's fix all your oppression, and we'll take every single thing into account, and then we'll fix yours too. We'll take every single thing into account. It's like, no, you won't, because you can't. You can't. It is technically impossible. First of all, you can't even list all the ways that you're oppressed. Second, how are you going to weight them? Third, who's going to decide? And that's the bloody thing. Who's going to decide? That's the thing. Well, what's the answer in the West? It's like in free markets, oh yeah, Christ will never be able to solve this problem. No one can solve it. What are we going to do about that? We're going to outsource it to the marketplace. You're going to take your sorry, pathetic being and you're going to try to offer me something that maybe I want. And I'm going to take my sorry, pathetic being and I'm going to say, well, all things considered, as well as I can understand them, maybe I could give you this much money, which is actually a promise for that thing. And you've packed all of your damn oppression into the price. And I've packed all my oppression into the willingness to pay it. And that solution sucks. It's a bad solution. But compared to every other solution, man, it's why 10% of us have freedom.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.